So we've been focusing on the fourth of the five remembrances. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. So if everything is changing, we truly cannot hold on to anything. Kuhn Franz describes this fourth remembrance as everything is going to change. Nothing is ever going to be as I want it to be, as I need it to be, as I think it should be. I can't keep the perfect thing. I can't keep anything. Just notice, what happens as you hear that. I can't keep anything. This fourth remembrance certainly points to the truth of impermanence, points to the dukkha that comes from not understanding impermanence and grasping. And I really feel like this remembrance points us to the truth of anatta, or no self. Nothing is ours or me or mine or in our control. There is no stable me here, separate me here. Guy Armstrong writes that constructing an ongoing self out of grasping and personality view is designed to keep us from the primal fear of groundlessness. The self can be seen as a defensive maneuver against emptiness. And I really feel like this fourth remembrance brings us right to the doorstep of the truth of that groundlessness, right? And the primal fear of that, that we can't keep anything. Like Bill said, it's all sandcastles falling back into the ocean. Bill, Susan, and Jay all mentioned Achan Chah's teaching about his favorite cup in their talks, how he taught that he knew it was already broken and related to it as such. And so I just wanted to stay with that a little bit. So, first, we might consider how the cup might be a reflection of us, of each of us, right? It's made up of elements that came together at some point, were made into what we call cup, kind of made out of glass or clay, star stuff. And Achan Chah could rely on the cup to hold his tea or his water, but it is empty of a solid, stable self. And this is true for ourselves, right? That we are just like that cup. Our idea of cup is the same maybe as my idea of Catherine, that I too am made up of these elements that came together, star stuff. Like the cup, I am changing. I will lose my patina, right? I will become chipped and cracked. At some point, I might leak or break, right? And at some point, I will change, I'll decay so much that I won't be recognizable as this Catherine, just as the cup will break and at some point no longer be cup. And Achan Chah, he didn't say that this awareness means he doesn't see the cup, that the cup doesn't exist. So even though it's empty of a stable self, right? He recognized like I can still use it. I can still appreciate it. And I can feel that way about me, right? Or ourselves. I'm still Catherine. In fact, I want to appreciate, right? Each breath, each moment of this life. Just like Achan Chah really encouraged an appreciation of his favorite cup. So I feel like there's this invitation from him to investigate this thing we call cup if it's already broken. Right? What does that mean about its existence its anatta nature, its emptiness. And if that's true for the cup, what might that mean about each of us? And then there is the mine in the story, right? That's so important. My favorite cup, right? Looking at attachment and possession, how we look to and grasp objects or people to solidify our sense of self and that stability against the truth of groundlessness. And just think about, right? Anything that's mine, I know I kind of want to hold on to, right? My books, my artwork, my people, my house. So it's me and mine, me and mine. And maybe we can feel that, right? How that feels in your body when you think about your favorite shirt, your favorite person. Achancha, he taught, he said, do everything with a mind that lets go. Don't accept praise or gain or anything else. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace. And so, can we feel the difference between me, my cup, my favorite, and letting go completely? A mind that lets go, complete peace. And right, we can practice with our favorite cup. This is the way in our practice all the time, right? We always are invited to start small, start where it's easy, and then kind of knowing this is actually true for everything. This is true for the cup. This is true for everything. It's all going over the waterfall. But I think I was wondering if maybe we are all so drawn to this story because it is an easier way to be with this fourth remembrance. So Kuhn, Franz, I can't keep anything. We can't keep anything. And, the letting go, this also made me think about kind of the ultimate examples of this in our tradition. People who became or become monks or nuns, right? What are monks asked to do when they take robes? It really is a renunciation of attachment to me and mine, right? One bowl, no hair, shaved head, same robe as everybody else, not knowing when the next meal will come or what it will be, not owning things. They can't define or secure, or stabilize a self by a house that's mine or a career or a partner or children, a car, not fitting into the paths that society sets out. So if we cannot keep anything and nothing has a stable, independent, solid nature or self, does that mean that nothing matters, right? If it's all falling away, then why even bother? But I love this. This is not what our practice or this tradition teaches. And this is the connection between the fourth and fifth remembrance. And I know we haven't gotten there yet, but we will. The fifth remembrance points to our actions, karma. The Buddha, he taught, he said, grain, possessions, money, all the things you love, none of these can you take with you. You must cast them all aside. But whatever karma is made by you, whether by body, speech, or mind, that is your real possession. And you must fare according to that karma. So I love this, right? The fourth remembrance points us to can't keep anything. Nothing is me. Nothing is mine. And followed by what we possess is our actions in every single moment. And I think this is so beautiful and so hopeful. As Jay said in her talk on Monday, I love this. She said, releasing the attachment does not mean detachment. And so we still take great care to engage in the world in kind and mindful and non-harming ways. We just don't make that about us. Everything with a mind that lets go. So I wanted to end with two poems. They're from a book that many may know called The First Free Women by Matthew Weingast. And he based them on from the Taragatha, which was a very old collection of poems by the first Buddhist nuns. And the first is called The Rock. Long after the front gate swung closed behind me, I could still hear them. Why talk so much about death? Find a husband to share your bed. Bring children into the world to leave behind after you're gone. But ever since I invited my own death into bed with me, I no longer feel lonely or afraid of the dark. What do we really bring into the world? What do we leave behind? A gate swings closed, then opens. Where does it come from? Where does it all go? This last one is called The Guardian. Going forth is no game. We leave whole lives behind, not just people and possessions. All your wants, all your fears, all the little rituals that get you through the day and tuck you in at night. Only see that all these pretty wooden pieces aren't you and don't belong to you. They belong to the game. I know it's comforting to count up all the squares, run your fingers along the edge of the board, and plan out all your moves ahead of time. The world beyond the table only seems dark, like empty space. It's okay to be afraid. So thank you so much for your attention, your presence. And let's take some time just to transition in whatever way feels right to formal practice. And that may mean, moving the body. It may mean standing, shaking out a little bit. Maybe you want to roll the neck or shoulders. Open up the chest a little bit to let the breath move a little more freely. Sometimes a few audible sighs on the out breath can help settle and invite us back into the seat, the meditation cushion or couch. And as you find your way really gradually into a posture that feels comfortable and supported, maybe that's laying down or standing, seated with hands on the lap or thighs. In whatever posture you're in, maybe just notice the space around the body, the sounds in the room or space that you're in. Maybe the coolness or warmth of the air, Maybe notice the breath being brought in from the outside and back out from the body. This exchange that we have constantly, like the tide. This giving and receiving with nature. You might notice also places of contact where the body meets the body, like the hands touching the legs, or where your seat meets the cushion, your back against the chair. And just knowing that you are breathing, knowing that you're sitting. Maybe also aware that you're sitting with others, even if we're all in different spaces. And as you gradually or gently allow your attention to rest with your anchor, if that's the breath, or sounds or sensations, on offer also is just gently holding this phrase, do everything with a mind that lets go. Just inviting ourselves as we arrive again and again to really gently drop the line, let go of maybe efforting, doing, trying to make something happen. And stories in the mind that are the mind's attempt to shore up a sense of self, a me, a mine. This with kindness, breathing with, breathing into when we notice that. Seeing if we can let go and begin again. What do we really bring into the world? What do we leave behind? A gate swings closed, then opens. Where does it come from? Where does it all go? Thank you for your practice.